You can create an image of strength. You can perform confidence. You can seem kind, ambitious, or disciplined for a limited time, but subtle behaviors eventually reveal the truth. Machiavelli knew how to spot them. In a world full of misdirection, he couldn't afford to guess who was genuinely strong. He quickly learned, true inner weakness doesn't shout. It quietly shows itself through unseen gaps. While genuinely strong individuals remain composed, others reveal struggles through unnoticed patterns. Once you recognize these, in others or yourself, you gain a powerful advantage, the ability to understand vulnerabilities before they become problems. These revealing patterns aren't always obvious. Most people overlook them. But Machiavelli wouldn't. He studied human actions like a strategist observing a game. He uncovered 3 core behaviors that instantly reveal a lack of true inner strength. If this message is already sparking a new kind of inner strength and clarity within you, and you're ready to master these powerful principles, hit the subscribe button now. Join our community to continue your journey toward unshakable self-command and strategic influence. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most subtle pattern, the constant justifier. Individuals lacking inner conviction often over-explain. Truly decisive people simply act. A person constantly defending choices or trying too hard for understanding isn't honest. They're revealing insecurity. Machiavelli saw this in influential circles. A confident leader spoke little, but someone less secure, a minister, a merchant, a pretender, talked constantly. They needed external agreement to feel sure. This behavior reveals self-worth tied to being liked, not respected. Machiavelli saw it as a subtle plea for validation. Over-explaining is a shield for apprehension, fear of disapproval, judgment, or losing influence. Anyone needing constant approval before acting will struggle with true power. Strategic power demands composure, conviction, and the ability to act without needing to explain. So next time someone keeps elaborating, repeating points, trying hard to sound reasonable or morally correct, you're not seeing strength. You're observing a quiet unraveling of inner confidence. The second pattern is even more nuanced, the strategically agreeable. This form of vulnerability is deceptive because it often comes with a smile. Machiavelli knew that indecisive individuals didn't always appear worried. They looked friendly, helpful. But this wasn't always genuine kindness. It was compliance disguised as virtue. A truly strong person can be kind, but their kindness is intentional, never at the cost of self-respect. A person lacking inner strength, however, tries to be agreeable at all times. They consent to avoid tension, offer compliments to be liked, stay quiet when they should speak, and apologize from worry, not error. When this fails to bring validation, they often shift, becoming resentful, sarcastic, or subtly aggressive. Why? Because their niceness was a tactic to avoid disapproval. When it fails, frustration surfaces. Machiavelli observed this. He wrote, "A leader must know what is necessary and not use it, unless truly compelled." Restraint is not fear. But strategic agreeableness is rooted in apprehension. It's the posture of someone who tries to stay subtle, hoping no one challenges them. When you observe this automatic friendliness that turns sour under pressure, you found someone who cannot be fully trusted with significant influence. True influence demands clear boundaries, saying no without apology, and facing disagreements without collapsing into false pleasantries. Machiavelli would watch for this behavior intently, as it revealed this person's commitment will likely waver when tested. The third pattern is more transparent and deeply revealing. When you observe it, you'll know you're encountering someone who fears being unnoticed more than anything else. The third behavior Machiavelli instantly classified as lacking true inner strength was the attention seeker. You've observed it. The individual constantly needing to be seen. The one who can't remain composed without external recognition, who constantly posts, speaks loudly, exaggerates every success, and turns every moment into a performance. Machiavelli saw these individuals everywhere. He understood. The person who needs constant visibility fears being forgotten. This apprehension is a key vulnerability, stemming from deep uncertainty about their own worth. Constant performance isn't genuine confidence. It's an automatic response from someone lacking a strong internal foundation. They believe if they aren't talked about or praised, they don't matter. Their value diminishes when external attention subsides. Machiavelli saw them as liabilities. These individuals will often do anything for attention, misrepresent facts, embellish stories, even compromise confidences. They'll expose secrets, turn on collaborators, create conflicts, as long as someone is watching. In their mind, silence means irrelevance. Stillness means insignificance. The ultimate fear is to be overlooked. Machiavelli knew, a person driven by constant visibility is easily guided. To diminish their influence, strategically withhold attention, remove the spotlight, minimize validation, make them feel unnoticed, observe their composure falter. While strong individuals develop in private, grow in quiet focus, and act with deliberate intention, the attention seeker struggles without constant external notice. They are easier to predict, simpler to influence, and often difficult to truly trust. Machiavelli viewed a lack of inner strength as more significant than outright maliciousness. A malicious person knows what they want. The person lacking inner strength desires everything, but compromises anything to get it. When you combine all three patterns, the over-explainer, the agreeable tactic user, and the constant performer, you don't get a villain, you get a void. A person so lacking in internal solidity that they adopt the agenda of anyone more influential. Machiavelli most deeply understood not just the aggressive but the internally uncertain. A lack of inner grounding leads to unpredictable choices, leading to unforeseen disruptions. Machiavelli didn't just identify vulnerabilities. He strategically understood them. He turned these behaviors into tools for prediction, guidance, and advantage. Recognizing a lack of inner strength early could mean the difference between maintaining influence and facing challenges. These individuals don't just falter. They often collapse under pressure. In matters of leadership, partnership, and trust, you cannot depend on someone who crumbles under duress. Mastering strategic awareness. How to observe with precision. So how do you cultivate this awareness and protect your position? You observe. Stop judging people solely by pleasantries, words, or titles. Judge them by their psychological patterns. Study what they do when no one agrees, watches, praises, or gives them an immediate reason to act well. Look for subtle inconsistencies. The strategically composed individual doesn't panic in silence. They build, they refine, they plan. The person lacking inner strength performs, explains, or falters. Once you can instantly tell the difference, you gain a powerful asset: discernment. The ability to see not just who someone pretends to be, but who they will truly become when circumstances become challenging. That's how Machiavelli chose allies and avoided missteps. That's how you navigate effectively past those misled by appearances. Beneath words and curated images, consistent behavior always reveals truth. Machiavelli understood how vulnerabilities could be leveraged. While many respond with frustration, Machiavelli responded with strategy. Once you understand someone's emotional sensitivities, how they think, panic, or seek approval, you don't need to argue or oppose. You subtly guide them, like a quiet force behind a moving current. He understood. A person lacking inner strength desires to be guided, but often doesn't want to feel overtly controlled. So Machiavelli offered what they sought: praise when overlooked, agreement when insecure, flattery when needing validation, not from genuine admiration, but from seeing their susceptibility. That's where his true influence came from. He didn't rely on force. He guided others to act in ways that served his objectives, by offering enough emotional reinforcement to keep them seeking his approval. This approach worked. He observed the over-explainer. Instead of challenging, Machiavelli listened, nodded, made eye contact, said, "That makes perfect sense." Instantly, that individual often aligned themselves, craving more validation, willing to support, even provide insights. It was strategic leverage. Then he approached the universally agreeable. He'd give them a role, make them feel valued and secure. That individual rarely acted against Machiavelli, not out of blind loyalty, but fear of risking their fragile identity. For the attention seeker, Machiavelli offered the platform, let him speak prominently, take public credit for ideas serving Machiavelli's goals, projecting influence. Behind scenes, Machiavelli shaped the narrative. He knew, quote, "If you give a person lacking inner strength the illusion of influence, they'll rarely question who actually holds it." Significant outcomes are shaped by enabling those lacking internal grounding to contribute, driven by their desire to be seen, approved, and included. If they acted against his interests, he didn't engage directly. He withdrew attention. They struggled without validation, undermined themselves, desperate to regain influence. Nothing challenges a person lacking inner strength faster than being ignored by the one whose approval once shaped them. That's the strategic art of navigating individual vulnerabilities. You don't argue or expose, you strategically guide them. As they seek external affirmation, you remain internally focused, composed, observing. While they pursue fleeting applause, you cultivate enduring influence. Machiavelli's ultimate principle: never allow an individual lacking inner strength to believe they are your equal. The moment they do, they might forget who facilitated their position, overstep, fantasize about independent action. So maintain clear distinction. Acknowledge just enough to keep them engaged, but never enough to believe they no longer require your strategic guidance. If they challenge your position, no emotional retaliation. Strategically reevaluate their role. There is no shortage of individuals eager for validation. But there is only one of you, with your unique strategic vision. That's the Machiavellian way. Not overt control, but subtle direction by understanding human nature. Not just managing people, but shaping their insecurities into reliable cooperation. No title, no crown, no loud voice needed. To guide those lacking inner grounding, all you need is clear understanding and composed silence. Machiavelli knew effective influence doesn't look like influence. It looks like genuine connection, mentorship, strong presence. Individuals lacking inner strength are always seeking signals, not just objective truths. They gravitate towards approval, like moths to a flame. Once you understand that, you can subtly shape their entire behavior without raising your voice. Machiavelli navigated complex social and political environments by allowing individuals seeking external validation to align with him. He played roles: patient listener, calm leader, subtle architect. He didn't resist their inherent patterns. he subtly reinforced them enough to keep them aligned. In return, he gained cooperation without explicit demands, supporters without asking, aligned actions without commands. This is what you must understand for true strategic influence. The most effective control is unseen. They believe decisions are theirs, they chose to follow, they feel proud of contributing, not because you demanded it, but because you never had to. Developing internal fortitude, essential practices for strategic influence. Let's explore how you can cultivate this inner resilience. Practice 1. Master the art of measured communication. The more someone needs external affirmation, the more they communicate. So, offer composed silence, strategic quietness. Allow others to reveal themselves until they internally affirm their admiration for you. When you do speak, make your words feel earned. That single compliment, that small nod, that rare piece of precise advice becomes incredibly valuable. They seek it. They reflect on it. Now they're not just collaborating with you, they're working for something within them, something you subtly activated. Practice 2. Cultivate inner calm amidst external turmoil. Individuals lacking inner strength often operate in emotional reactivity. They might panic when plans change, overreact to criticism, or struggle when overlooked. You maintain composure. You move with quiet intention. You become the opposite of their inner chaos. This contrast makes them perceive you as influential without you ever needing to claim it. They project stability onto you because their own internal world might be unsettled. And once they do that, your influence becomes subtle and pervasive. Practice 3. Offer thoughtful, unpredictable affirmation. This is a nuanced, strategic approach. You don't offer consistent or predictable praise or support. You cultivate deliberate mystery in your acknowledgments. Some days you overtly recognize them. Some days you maintain calm distance. Some days you nod. Some days you don't overtly engage. Why? Because uncertainty, when carefully managed, can deepen engagement. They never quite know when your positive recognition will arrive, so they continue to seek it. You become a point of fascination. This is where profound psychological influence begins. When they start needing your presence, guidance, recognition, they subtly become more cautious of your disapproval. Your thoughtful detachment often serves as a powerful mirror they cannot escape. Now their actions often align with your subtle guidance, not through apprehension or overt demands, but through a deeper psychological alignment. This is the art of understanding vulnerabilities and subtly guiding individuals towards your objectives. They'll rarely fully understand how, attributing it to admiration and respect, believing they chose this path. But you understand the dynamics. Machiavelli understood above all self-mastery. True weakness isn't just in others. It's what you constantly examine within yourself. It appears subtly through over-explaining, the need to be liked, the craving for applause, the silence you should have broken, the apology from fear. Self-mastery is a continuous internal process. If you falter, observers might notice. He developed a system to detect weakness the moment it surfaced in his own mind. Developing unshakable resolve. Machiavelli's self-audit principles. Principle 1. Monitor your explanations. When strong, you make decisions. When weak, you over-explain. Machiavelli trained himself to notice when he communicated excessively, repeated points, or adjusted his message based on reactions. He asked, "Is this conviction or a plea for acceptance?" If the latter, he paused. Seeking validation diminishes authority. Principle 2. Carefully assess your agreements. A weak yes is a vulnerability. agreeing to avoid conflict, gain favor, or without boundaries. He paused before every agreement, asking, "Would I say yes if I didn't fear disapproval?" If no, he respectfully declined. Your word's weight affects your power. Principle 3. Cultivate comfort with silence. Those lacking strength dislike silence. They rush to fill it. Machiavelli made silence his deliberate tool, practicing it, measuring his comfort. When tense, he leaned into it. Mastered silence becomes presence, inspiring subtle caution without overt intention. Principle 4. Strategically resist unnecessary self-exposure. The weak seek open visibility. The strong choose when to be seen. Machiavelli practiced strategic invisibility. He observed others chase the spotlight, staying in shadows until ready. His moves were perceived as decisive arrival, built through absence, not announcements. He removed traces of weak behavior before the world used them. He fortified his inner world. Many struggle. They project strength but never ask, "Do I chase praise? Fear rejection? Need others' liking before I lead? Explain when silence is stronger?" These questions reveal limits. You can reinforce patterns or transform them into an unshakable presence. In a strategically aware world, you face challenges for being predictable or emotional, not for being assertive. Thoughtfully remove these tendencies until you lead with silent, undeniable composure. Principle 5. Establish respect as a high standard. Respect isn't demanded, it's cultivated. Machiavelli knew it comes from mastery over what challenges those lacking inner strength. They fear discomfort, misunderstanding, dislike, standing alone. The strategically aware embrace it. They engage with tension, refine under scrutiny. When you release the urge to justify, stop seeking applause, remove fear-driven behavior, you become an unshakable presence. People respect you because you reveal powerful composure, inspiring caution. We are cautious of what we cannot categorize. When you enter a room without needing to prove, holding composure, your silence more impactful than words, you change the dynamic. You become the source of respect. People adjust. They measure words, not wanting to seem weak. You've mastered what they haven't. Your rare acknowledgement is valuable. This principle, make respect earned. Don't give it freely. Don't flatter casually. Make them demonstrate consistency. They'll adjust to your standard, rise to it, or disengage. You gain clarity and strength. You guide with influence that's deeply felt. People ask, why does he make me think carefully? Why do I value his perspective? That's presence, built by removing behaviors that expose weakness in them and yourself. Purify speech, refine silence, make identity unshakable. You become what Machiavelli admired, someone who inspires respect naturally, through undeniable composure, the standard they measure against. Let those lacking inner strength reveal themselves. While they chase comfort, you cultivate influence. You don't expose vulnerabilities by confronting them. You strategically reveal them by never needing to. That is the essence of Machiavellian influence. Like this video. If you're ready to stop chasing approval, subscribe. If you're prepared to become the kind of individual they can't easily guide, can't truly predict, and can never forget, because this isn't just self-improvement. This is an internal revolution, and you are becoming unstoppable.